A 23-year-old woman vanished from her home overnight. Her car still in the driveway, her belongings untouched. Police quickly discovered her disappearance was no accident. What they uncovered was like something out of a horror movie, and it led them straight to a predator hiding in plain sight. This case is one of the most chilling I've ever covered. If you're interested in true crime stories like this, make sure to subscribe for more videos. Ellie Wakeake, known to her family and friends as Ellie, was born on May 17, 1995, in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Later, she and her parents, along with her sister, moved to Ohio and settled in Westchester Township. From childhood, Ellie stood out for her creativity. She loved turning scraps into handmade crafts and decorating whatever space she was in. She also had a passion for colorful, eccentric clothes that made her easy to spot in any crowd. But most of all, she loved being outdoors. Whether it was climbing trees, lounging in a hammock, or simply soaking in the quiet of nature, Ellie could spend hours outside without a care in the world. After finishing high school, Ellie attended a local college and earned her cosmetology license. Soon after, she started working as a hairstylist. By the summer of 2018, 23-year-old Ellie was living independently and still working at the salon she loved. On Sunday, July 29th, a friend dropped by her house. The two of them sat in the backyard, talked for a while, and then he left. Later that night, Ellie exchanged texts with a few other friends, but the next day, everything went silent. She stopped replying to messages, and when people tried calling, they discovered her phone had been turned off.
Concerned, Ellie's mother drove to her house. She saw her daughter's car still parked near the garage, and all of Ellie's belongings were inside, except for her phone. Something was terribly wrong, so she immediately contacted police. She also told them that she already suspected who might be involved. Ellie had confided in her several times about a man who had been stalking her for months. It all began in February 2018, roughly 6 months before Ellie went missing. A strange man started contacting her through social media. At first, he seemed harmless, but soon his messages grew increasingly unsettling. He began asking bizarre questions about her thoughts on mass killings and behaving in disturbing ways. When Ellie tried to block him, he always found a way back, using new accounts or different platforms to reach her. Then, in April, things escalated dramatically. One night, Ellie received a video filmed through her own kitchen window. In the footage, she could be seen quietly placing stickers into a scrapbook. The angle showed the video had been taken from less than a yard away. Even worse, the man filming was naked and pleasuring himself while recording her. He continued sending more videos and photos just like that. Ellie was terrified. Not only had this man found out where she lived, but he was brazen enough to invade her property and spy on her at night. She finally went to the police with all the evidence: messages, fake accounts, and those explicit videos. But the local department treated her complaint as nothing more than telephone harassment. Instead of recognizing she was in real danger, they failed to act. The stalker had been using virtual phone numbers that required a court order to trace, but investigators never filed for one. They didn't even attach the disturbing photos and videos to her official report. The only advice Ellie received was to avoid going out at night, keep her curtains closed, and maybe sign up for a self-defense class.
Ellie felt crushed. She had done everything right, gone to police, shared her evidence, and nothing had been done to protect her. The harassment continued nonstop. Her mental health deteriorated, and she slipped into anxiety and depression, consumed by fear. Her mom also tried contacting police. They sent a patrol car once, but the officer only drove by, lingered for about 5 minutes, and then left. Nothing changed. In May, a breakthrough finally came. While talking to a friend about the situation, that friend managed to trace one of the stalker's fake Snapchat accounts back to a real profile, a man named Michael Strauss. Ellie immediately recognized him. She had briefly dated Michael when she was 17, but hadn't spoken to him in years. Now she knew exactly who was tormenting her. She returned to police with this crucial information, but once again, they took no action. They never questioned Michael or issued a warning. And the harassment only got worse. Michael's messages turned into direct threats. Ellie grew so frightened of being alone that her friends often stayed overnight at her house. But on July 29th, the night before she vanished, no one was there. She had asked the same friend who visited earlier that day to stay, but he was dealing with a painful toothache and declined. When investigators began investigating her disappearance, they checked her phone records. They discovered her phone had stayed in the house until about 3 a.m., when it was suddenly shut off. Looking at her social media, they found Ellie had recently been messaging someone named Nate. She had invited him over and he agreed, but added that he wouldn't bring his phone and would simply knock when he arrived. Later, Ellie canceled the plans. But when investigators traced Nate's account, they discovered it was tied to the same type of virtual phone number Michael had used. Ellie's friends revealed she'd been talking to Nate online for 6 months, though she had never met him in person. Detectives concluded that Nate was just another one of Michael's fake identities, and Ellie had told him she was home alone that night.
Police soon obtained warrants for Michael's accounts and devices. Everything pointed back to him. On top of that, all of his fake accounts went silent the same night Ellie disappeared. When they dug into Michael's background, they discovered a troubling criminal history: burglary, harassment, public indecency, and fraud. He had once been ordered to undergo psychiatric evaluation and counseling, but despite all that, he had never served prison time. Investigators searched his house and seized his electronics. Data revealed his phone had pinged near Ellie's home the night she vanished. Evidence also confirmed he was behind all the fake accounts. Even more disturbing, just 53 minutes after Ellie's phone went dark, Michael created a brand new account to begin harassing another woman. Inside his home, police found Ellie's driver's license, strands of her hair, and a stone from her favorite necklace. They also discovered handcuffs bolted to his bed. Michael's internet searches painted a chilling picture. 4 months before Ellie vanished, he looked up, "How long does a human body smell?" 3 weeks before, he searched about missing women in the area. 1 week later, he Googled how to survive in prison. 10 hours before Ellie disappeared, he read an article about the Cincinnati Strangler. Cell tower data and a Google Maps screenshot from Michael's phone eventually led investigators to a field near his home. There, search dogs uncovered human remains hidden in tall grass. Nearly a month had passed, and the body was badly decomposed, but dental records confirmed it was Ellie. Although the cause of death couldn't be determined with certainty, investigators strongly suspected strangulation. Michael had researched serial killers who strangled their victims, and Ellie's wrists showed signs of being bound with zip ties. When questioned again, Michael admitted to killing Ellie but gave a bizarre story. He claimed she had agreed to film a violent adult video with him, which went too far and ended in accidental strangulation. He insisted it was all on camera, though he claimed to have destroyed the footage. Detectives didn't believe him. They believed the more likely scenario was that Michael tricked or forced Ellie to leave her home, brought her back to his, restrained her, killed her, and then dumped her body in the field. Michael's devices revealed dozens of photos and videos of other women, many secretly recorded while jogging or walking alone. Though he insisted he never harmed them, his search history suggested otherwise, looking up jogging spots, local attacks, and unsolved crimes. They even considered him a suspect in other cases, including the 2011 disappearance of 21-year-old Caitlin Markham. She too had been stalked before vanishing, and her body was later found. Investigators learned Michael had ties to her fiancé, who eventually turned out to be her killer in 2023. As for Ellie's case, prosecutors built an overwhelming case against Michael. His defense attorney attempted to shift blame, suggesting her anxiety and medication might have contributed to her death, a claim quickly dismissed. In the end, Michael took a plea deal 2.5 years after Ellie's murder. He pled guilty in court and received a life sentence with the possibility of parole after 17.5 years. Even his own mother spoke in court, asking for the harshest punishment possible. While Michael is now behind bars, Ellie's family and friends still struggle with the reality that police had many chances to protect her but failed to act. Their inaction left her vulnerable, and ultimately, it cost Ellie her life. Ellie's story is heartbreaking, and sadly, cases like hers happen far too often. If you want to hear more stories like this one, be sure to subscribe for more true crime videos.